Welcome to Adventure Freaks, a podcast on living abroad on a budget.
All right, today we're with my new friend Joaquin Pinto Ferrand, and Joaquin, he is living in Malta, and we're going to pull the map up and show everyone where Malta is, because it is this beautiful place in the Mediterranean that a lot of people don't know about. But Joaquin is a truly interesting guy. I mean, he was born in Lima, moved to Costa Rica, he spent some time in Argentina. He grew up partially in France in his teens in Paris, France, and now he found Malta, and he's a CEO of Boom Malta. And you need to check this out. He's the CEO and co-founder of Boom Malta. That's BOOM, and then Malta, MALTA. And you can find them all over the internet. We're going to post it at the end of this podcast. But what a tremendous life you've had, Joaquin. I mean, it's amazing. So just tell us a little bit about your background and, just growing up, Lima, Costa Rica, and finding eventually in Paris. I mean, going to school, obviously, in your teens, you went to school in Paris, which had to be pretty awesome. And now you're in Malta, which is this incredible destination. So let's talk about, well, first, let me pull up a map so maybe you could go over and show everybody where Malta is. I'm going to pull this up on Google Map.
Yep. So Malta, it's a fantastic island. It's in the exact heart of the Mediterranean Sea, just south of Sicily and north of Libya. So it's in between North Africa and Southern Europe. And it has such a fantastic weather. I mean, it's middle of November and we're 19 degrees Celsius here. I mean, for Europe, I would say it's one of the best climates, So it's a very, very small island. Actually, it's an archipelago. It's composed of 3 islands. It's very well connected to the rest of Europe.
Nice. I see it's very, very close to Africa, to Tunisia, and it's very close to Sicily. How long of a boat ride is it to Sicily?
So you have fast ferries. You can go to Pozzallo in Sicily for 2 hours and a half.
Okay.
Takes you to Pozzallo. Yeah. And you can go Augusta near Catania in less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's very well connected. You have 2 ferries a day at least from Malta to Sicily.
I see that. Yeah, I see that the ferry route is right there. Now, I'm gonna pull some pictures up on Pixabay. Can I do that? Can you show pictures on I think they're all free, right? The Pixabay?
Yeah. I think they are.
Yeah, let me pull some photos up to see.
It's a fantastic place for Instagrammers.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
You have everything. History, fantastic landscapes.
Yeah, so I just want to show people starting out what this place is about, man, because it is just stunning. I mean, when you look at these pictures, I mean, it's just gorgeous there.
It is full of history. That's what I love about here. Is that it's full of history, but then also, beautiful beaches and places to nature, landscapes. It's a small island, but it's very diverse. So you cannot get bored. You have tons of things to do. Beautiful cities such as Valletta and Vina.
Yeah.
Historical places. Fantastic. Quality of life, it's really great here.
Yeah, it is. It's really beautiful. Now, do a lot of people, like when you go to Malta, why do people, in your opinion, pick Malta, like for example, over Italy or Sicily? What's the difference?
So, I mean, first thing, Malta has been a British colony since 1964. So we speak English here. It's a mostly English speaking environment. There's also Maltese, but
Yes.
people are bilingual. Everyone speaks English. That makes it very, very interesting for business. And, also it attracts a lot of English students
Yeah.
because in Europe, you can study English in the UK or Ireland or Malta, the only countries where English language is spoken as native.
Yeah. Yeah.
So of course the weather here it's quite different than in the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
and also there are it's a very business friendly environment here in Malta. So lots of startups, and it's quite a vibrant expat community going around. For non-Europeans, you have nomad visas, you have startup visas, and these kinds of programs to attract entrepreneurs. So it's very vibrant. Unemployment is low, the economy growth it's very, very interesting rates, the best with Ireland in the European Union. So I guess for mainly business, it's a great place to relocate.
Yeah, it sounds like they make it very enticing for people who are interested in starting business, and it's really becoming a big hub for digital
It is.
nomads, right?
It is, yeah, yeah. They introduced this program of the digital nomad visas recently, and it's a big success. I was this weekend at the startup festival Malta here in Malta, and they were speaking about it and how it brings lots of different backgrounds and people from all over the world. Non-Europeans, of course, because Europeans don't need a
Yeah.
visa to come to Malta. It's part of the European Union. But
Wow.
so you can see a very international atmosphere here in Malta. It is the country in Europe where you have the highest rate of expats. It's about 25% of the local population that is foreigner. So,
Wow.
and it comes from all over the world.
I did not know that. So is that jacking up the cost of living?
In some areas, of course, you have the traditional expat areas, which I mean are getting quite expensive, but there are still lots of towns, traditional Maltese towns, which are beautiful and people are incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Where cost of living is still affordable as a Southern European country.
Yeah.
So you can still choose, but I mean, for buying property, I would say maybe it's a bit late now in
Mhm.
Malta. Probably Gozo, the sister island, still better than the north.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you still have some opportunities, but it's getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, getting pretty competitive. Now, explain the background. The background's beautiful. You're right there.
Yeah,
It looks like you're at, is that a cafe that you're at and on a
it is. It
deck in a
is.
cafe? Okay. Yeah,
It
explain
is.
explain where you're at, what part of Malta you're at, and what we're looking at.
Perfect. So this is the northwestern part of Malta. It's a town called Bugiba. I'm facing the National Aquarium. It's just in front of me. So this is the cafe, the terrace cafe of the National Aquarium. And here you have the traditional rocky beaches that you can see all over Malta.
Hmm.
Um, Actually, I saw people swimming just coming by. So, we're in the middle of November and people can still take a swim.
Yeah.
um, that's fantastic. So you have all the western part of Malta. It is an island, so you have beautiful sunsets, in this part of the island, and sunrises the eastern part. So you can choose if you're a morning or an afternoon person. You can
Yeah.
choose whatever you like. And this is a traditional expat area. I do not live here, but this is mostly for British foreigners and also some African migrants and expats that live in this area as well. I really like it. It's very international. You have lots of bars, cafes. It's a bit far away from the central area, um, but here prices are still affordable. So I
Yeah.
really like this area. Yeah.
Are you fairly close to that location? Do you live near it or do you work near it?
No, not at all. I live in Zira, which is part of the central area of Malta near Valletta. It's like a central ring, and that's the expat area mostly. I work in Sliema, which is a nearby town. it's really 30 minutes walking from my place, so I go by walking, and here you can drive. It's a 30 minutes drive from where I live, so it's a small island. You can drive from the north part up to the southern part in just 1 hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, you've made it.
Yeah, yeah.
So everything is close by, and that's also very important for quality of life as well.
Sure.
Because you can. I mean, I've chosen to come here to have this beautiful sunset, and it just takes me 30 minutes to come here.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's extraordinary view, man. I'm loving it. Well, tell us, Joaquin,
Thanks.
tell us a little bit about, your journey. And, it started in Lima, and
Yeah.
and then you went to Costa Rica, Argentina, Paris. I mean, you've really lived in sensational places all over the globe, and you've ended up in another one, Malta. So, I mean, that's quite a journey, man. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the age of 8, my parents decided to move to Costa Rica, mainly because it is a peaceful country, and Peru was a country with conflict, so fleeing conflicts. And I had a very, very nice childhood there, peaceful country, great friends. I still go to Costa Rica from time to time. Beaches are among the best. So really, I grew up, went to high school there. And actually, I started university in France. So I did not go to high school in France, but I landed in Poitiers, which is a small city in the center of France, very, very traditional city. Then I moved to Paris for my master's. So I had like a student life in France. I did an exchange year in Buenos Aires in Argentina, which was kind of my fetish city in South America. I really wanted to live there. So such an amazing place. My family comes from a background of artists, musicians, art directors, and the cinema industry, and they live in Canada, in Europe, in different countries. So I've been used to, different scenarios and changing. I think changing is my constant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when I finished university, I decided that I wanted to know a bit of Peru, which is my home country. I was born there. So I decided to go to Peru and try to know my country a bit. And I worked in the Andean rural communities for a few years, living there, living with the communities in the Andes, and learning a bit of Quechua. That really changed my life because, well, first of all, I noticed that I was not really Peruvian, that I am Peruvian, born Peruvian, but it's so difficult to have the same points of view, and it's so rich, but in the same sense, it's a little bit excluding. So I figured out that maybe I was going to be an expat all my life, even if I stayed in Peru, because I felt like mostly international citizen. So at one point with my ex-wife, we decided to move. Actually, we came to Malta for a honeymoon, and we loved it here. We said, oh, it should be a place where we should live at one point. I was imagining myself retiring here, but she found an MBA program in Malta, which is really a great place because you have UK universities based in Malta. So you do your degree here.
That
but you
got the
have
wheel spinning
exactly
for the Boom Malta.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's why we decided to relocate here. I decided to study an MBA here as well because I found it really, advantageous in terms of pricing, quality of life, and yeah, that's what I got the idea with my associate, which is from Colombia, to start the company here. But of course, it was because we loved it here, and really want to stay for a while, and we're really enjoying it every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for taking us through that, man. So when you went to when you moved to Paris to go to school in Paris, did you speak any
Yeah.
French?
Yes, I did, because my grandfather is from France, so I was born with the two languages, with French and Spanish, as mainly
Yeah.
the two languages I spoke at home. Yeah, so I always did a French education at international French, French schools.
Yeah.
So it was a natural pathway, if you want, to go to France. But yeah, I studied political science in France, and the master's in international relationships, because I wanted to work in the diplomatic area. Of course, a project is never, you plan and then life gets you through other paths. But
Yeah.
it,
So
it, it, it was great.
and you speak obviously Spanish, English, French. Do you speak Maltese?
I don't speak Maltese. I've been trying to learn a bit. I know some words. It's a very difficult language. It's an Arab language, mostly Arab, with some Italian, with some French.
Yes.
But it has the advantage that it's written with the Latin alphabet. So, I mean, if you want to learn Arab, probably Maltese, it's easiest way to, to get to know an Arab language. I speak Italian and Portuguese as well. Um, Actually, Italian is a very, they speak a lot of Italian here in Malta.
It's so impressive, man. I mean, just to be able to communicate with so many different people, that's just awesome. You've that's
Yeah.
that's incredible. That's great.
Oh, I love networking, meeting people, and for me, speaking a language is so important. Actually, at some point, I was going to Brussels a lot, and I started to learn some Dutch, well, Flemish Dutch,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I would have stayed there if continue learning it, but well, life got me to other paths.
Sure,
But
sure.
I really love learning languages, because I believe it's the best way to communicate and to learn about local culture. The problem with Malta is that everyone speaks English. So I mean, in the minute that they see that you're not Maltese, they will start speaking in English, and in
Sure.
a good way. So it's difficult, because you cannot practice Maltese. You have to ask them, please teach me this, teach me another
Yeah.
word. Yeah. But I will try to learn it a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's awesome. So yeah, and I was reading, well, I actually heard this years ago. I think I learned about this, but um, Malta, this little island in the middle of the Mediterranean, it's got, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, some of the oldest archaeological sites or the oldest archaeological sites ever found on the planet. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay.
There are two temples from 3600 before Christ. So they are more than 5,000 years old
Wow.
temples.
Yeah.
They're older than the pyramids, and it's amazing because they are standing structures, stone built with limestone.
Yeah.
I really love history, and to have the opportunity to see these temples. I'm not quite sure. I always said they were the oldest, but the other day somebody sent me a link about a place in Turkey that was probably 100 years older than these temples.
Oh,
I'm not sure, but the thing is that if they are not the oldest, they are among the oldest.
yeah.
So it's really impressive. It's really impressive, and the the influences of ancient cultures here. It's great. Phoenicians came here in 1600 before Christ, and they left a mark that you can see nowadays with the lutsus, which are traditional boats. They have the eye, the Phoenician eye, and the Phoenician colors. So you see 3,000-year-old boats that are still used by local fishermen.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's breathtaking. If you like history, for anyone that likes history,
Yeah.
this place is amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah. I didn't as a kid, You know, I love history now and I appreciate it now. And I bet there's just droves of tourism that go to Malta just to see those sites that are so unique and ancient.
Yeah, you have the Hypogeum, which is an underground temple. That's also amazing. It's not that old, but it's carved with figures. It's so beautiful. In pre-COVID time, you had to book it 3 months in advance just to visit this temple. Now it's a bit less, but still a month or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have quite a lot of things to do. I'm not sure if it's getting too dark here. If you want me to move anywhere,
I'm wondering if,
or
you know, the sunset is behind you.
yeah,
If you turned around, like I sat on the
yep,
other side of the table, maybe that light will be enough for a while. Yeah, that didn't work very
no,
well. No.
no.
But
I'll stick with the sun. I'll stick with the sunset, and yeah,
yeah, this is just beautiful, man. That's a nice little cafe there. So
yeah, it is.
let's talk let's talk about what you do with Boom Malta. So you're the founder, you're one of the co-founders, and you're the CEO of
Yeah,
Boom Malta. You have a really tremendously impressive web presence and website. So obviously, it's doing well. So you work with students and go ahead and share with what it is that you
yeah,
do.
yeah. Of course. Boom Malta. It's an agency that brings students to Malta. So one of the main things is that we found that not many people knew about this island and the opportunities. So we are showcasing and featuring Malta as a premium destination for English education, not only language education but also higher education. And as a student myself, because I did an MBA here, my business partner Juan also did an MBA here. So we really know the pain points, the journey very well. We lived it. So we created this structure that provides services for international students, also for some expats, like housing, like visa advice, all kinds of local activities that you want to do. And of course, we're very much focusing on choosing the right school, the right program, in terms of your objectives. So we do have representatives in Latin America. We're focusing on the Latin American markets for now. Um, so we have people in Argentina, in Colombia, in Peru, in Costa Rica, etc. So people can go grab a coffee over there, and just have a chat with the local representatives, see a face in their home countries. But then we have a Malta-based team. We're about 12 people now here in Malta, 22 worldwide. And here we have the best agreements with schools. So we just created an easy path for people to come to Malta and enjoy the beautiful islands, And yeah, it's doing great. We actually got a grant from the government recently to expand our business. We're part of the Maltese local environment. As a startup, we are registered in Malta. So of course, it's as expats, we are really proud to represent Malta whenever we go abroad, because this is a very international company.
Sure.
And it's been great. The company was founded in November 2019, so we've just been here for 2 years. It seems like a lot more, and we've achieved great stuff. Hundreds of students have come through us to Malta, and now it's difficult for me to go for a walk and not meeting someone, at
Yeah,
some
yeah.
point that knows our work or has come through us. So yeah, we're thrilled.
Yeah, it's interesting because programs such as yours, I mean, I think they're so amazing and terrific for young people. And I'm sure you've heard this too, that from many of the young people that participate in your program, it's life changing for
It
many
is.
of these young people, and it just opens up their minds and their eyes, and they're like, wow.
It is.
there is
It
a
is.
world, there's a world outside of where I come from. And it's just a life-changing experience. I think it's just awesome what you're doing because it just changes people for the better.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We know the impact that we have, and this is our purpose actually. So it's really easy when you have a purpose-driven business, because you know what you're doing, and it, you you know you make the right decisions because it's purpose-driven and you
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
And also for the team, it's great because they know that they're having an impact. We are expanding operations now to Spain, and the head of the Spain team came this week to Malta, and yesterday we had a feedback session, and she told us what I really like about you guys is that you're so purpose driven. You have a clear mission. You are impacting on people's lives, and it makes it so easy. It makes it so easy. So this is what we really like about doing business with the purpose and the social, social purpose.
Yeah.
Um, uh, we were talking and discussing about the, international aspects of my personal journey, and I do believe that everyone should be able to experience it. But sometimes, because of, I don't know, just the way things are, people do not have these opportunities. So for me, having the opportunity myself to help people or connect people or, enhance these opportunities, this is great and it's fulfilling.
Yeah, and just bringing it to their attention to say there's an opportunity to go live in a different country that's amazingly beautiful and will just
Yeah.
open up your world and you get to learn things. Do you offer, is it like, do you approach university kids like in Salamanca, Spain, to like go, hey, do an exchange program with us? Do you do exchange?
We are opening the Spain section now. So for the moment, no, we're not working with Spain. But yes, we do offer exchanges.
Okay.
We're going to work with the Erasmus programs as well, which are widely known here in Europe. But more short courses or any kind of academic objective, we can tailor it for you. We work with the University of Malta, which is the biggest university in Malta, public university, and they provide all sorts of masters, undergraduate programs, short programs. We work with a lot of business schools, UK business schools that are Malta based. So we can even create tailored programs for companies that want to send their representatives here to Malta for a 3-month course, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, that we're pretty flexible and we adapt to our students' needs. So we can create a tailor-made program or otherwise offer the programs that already exist there.
Sure. Do most of the people that go through Boom Malta, do they do a degree in Malta, or do they come for the experience, live for a year or a few months and study?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of language students. So, English is such an important, it's skill that you have today. It's almost basic and fundamental if
Yeah.
you want to have a career. So we have a lot of language students, but of course, they come for 3 months, 6 months, 1-year programs. They have life-changing experiences here. I mean, at the beginning, they don't know that it's gonna be like this, but in the end, most of them are really transformed. Some of them go back to their countries, but others, they want to either stay here or even try another place. It's just a mind opener. So we do see the impact that we have. So they can come for a 3-month language exchange program, and then they can extend it while they are in Malta to a 6-month or 1-year program, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can keep on to higher education if they really like it. One thing that is good in Malta, it's great, is that foreign students, non-European, can work part-time. So this helps a lot students to finance their experience. It's very easy to have a job, a student job, because the economy is doing so well. So It's very attractive, actually, very attractive. And also it's so well connected. It's part of the Schengen area, Eurozone, and it's so well connected to Europe and you have very cheap flights from Malta to whatever, Paris, Berlin, Portugal, etc.
Yeah.
So you can go for a weekend. I mean, for a student, it's a perfect experience.
Yeah.
And also for an expat, it is quite a good place to settle. Well connected, business friendly, English speaking country. So it has a lot of advantages.
Yeah. Hey, what are the cost of flights? Like if you flew from Malta to Paris or Rome, or what are they?
Yeah.
Around?
So you have the low cost airlines such as Ryanair. You can have flights for 25 to 50 euros if you plan in advance. One-way tickets. I mean, you don't have a lot of luggage. It's just a backpack. And airports are not the main ones, but it's very, very cheap. To Rome, I've bought tickets for $9.99 in Ryanair. So, I mean, it's very cheap. And you have the main airlines. To Paris, you can, Air Malta serves all the main cities in Europe. Those tickets are around 250 return flights, to 250 euros return flights. Of course, with the 23 kilogram luggage and
Sure.
etc.
Yeah.
I mean, you can choose.
Yeah. So it's so Malta, you said this to Rome is $99?
No, $9.99. So 10 euros.
Oh,
you can
wow.
have flights for 10 euros in Ryanair to Rome. Yeah.
Wow.
They're low cost. Yeah.
And then to Paris, it's how much?
25.
25. Wow. So you could do round trip for 50 to Paris and back.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you go to Beauvais, you don't go to Charles de Gaulle. But then you do catch a bus. I mean, it's not a problem.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're on a budget, it works fine. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy cheap, man. So so for the digital nomads, kids, young people, expats thinking about moving to Malta, what are rents? What can you get a good rental for? A nice rental for?
It depends on what you're looking for and the areas, of course. I mean, a normal expat can find an apartment from 1,000 euros up monthly rent, decent 65 to 70 meters square apartment in the central areas, 1 to 2 bedrooms with a balcony. Yeah.
Okay.
Then if you move to other areas, for that price, you will get a 90 meters square to 100 meters square apartment with 3 bedrooms and terrace, or probably even a penthouse. It depends on the area, actually.
Sure.
So yeah, and also small townhouses in traditional towns, you can get that for up to 1,000 euros, around 1,000 euros. If you're a student, you can find rooms to share from 300 to 350 euros, which is quite good considering European costs. It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Those are normal prices. Of course, you can go a lot higher than that. It depends on what you're looking for, right? If you have a family, probably with 1.5 or 1.2 for a 3-member family, should be okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And then does that include utilities as well?
No.
Okay.
So for one person, electricity and water is about 60 euros per month.
Okay.
Something like that. And you can have a nice internet plan, 300 megabytes per second for 30 euros per month.
Okay.
If you add 30 more euros, so 60, you would have TV and landline, TV with sports channels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Okay.
60.
And what are groceries per month for like a person?
I would say that if you really like to be on a budget, you can have for 200 euros decent groceries with, you know, everything that you need for about 50 euros per week or so.
Okay.
But then again, it depends on what are you buying. Of course, things like beef, that's very expensive. You know, Malta doesn't have any agriculture, or, you know, it's you have to import everything, so it gets a little bit higher. Fruits, that's a bit expensive. You can also have local farmers delivery of seasonal vegetables to your house for about 25 euros per week or so, and you have a nice variety of local grown vegetable basket, which has a lot of different things.
Okay. Cool. How about transportation? How do you get around there?
So one thing that's great is for students, it's free. Bus is you
Wow.
pay 21 euros to get the card, and then it's free for the rest of the student study program that you have. You can get on buses and ferries for free. So there is no subway here, but buses connect pretty much every part of the island, and also Gozo, which is the other island in the north. And from October 22 onwards, so next year, all residents will get public transport for free.
Wow.
Yeah. So only Luxembourg, I believe, has this in the European Union. So it's an incredible program to, you know, incentivize people to take public transport. There are some delays if compared to France, for instance. There are some delays in bus schedules, but it's nothing to, you know, it's quite good. I would say it's a quite good transport system. Of course, people complain. People that are here in Malta, they will complain because that's normal. It's the reality. But I would say it's pretty good compared to other countries. And of course, it's going to be free for all residents. So that's great.
Yeah.
There is a very good electric car sharing system with parking spots all over the island. We have a business plan with them, and it's either by the minute or by the hour. Depends on how you're going to use the service, and it's fantastic because program.
Yeah, no worries. That happens occasionally.
Yeah. So I was saying about this electric car sharing system, which is great. You don't lose time parking. Otherwise, I don't recommend buying a car here because it's very difficult to find parking spaces. You know, it's very complicated.
How do you get around the island? I mean, do you walk, bike, take Uber, taxi?
I walk a lot because I live in this expat area, very near the place I work, and all things are mainly in that central area. So I do walk a lot, but I use this electric car sharing system that I was telling you about. It's quite convenient when you come to, you know, cities like Bujiba, where I am right now. Otherwise, a bus is great. I don't recommend cycling here since infrastructure is not well developed. One of my good friends, he does a lot of cycling, but I mean, he has had a couple of accidents, so you know, it's not as developed as North Europe, where you have much more infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so tell us what do people do? I mean, what is Malta known for as far as like activities and outdoor activities and things to do? What do people do there?
So hiking is a great activity. There are lots of places for hiking. Also diving. It's one of the best spots for diving in Europe. You have lots of schools. If you don't have a diving license, you can get your diving license here. Also, there are lots of water sports that you can do, jet skiing or kite surfing. Not surfing because the Mediterranean is not great for waves, but kite surfing, yes, you have good winds for that, and mostly walking. I mean, walking is very nice. It's so enjoyable. Weather is fine. So
Yeah.
boat rides, boat trips. If you like sailing, it's great. You have so many sailing ports here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. It's like when you're in a beautiful part of Europe, there's nothing better than just strolling through the streets and taking in the architecture and the beauty and the
Yeah.
people. There's such a vibrancy of people all over the streets and the cafes, and it's fun to see and be a part of that.
Sure.
Um, in Europe, it's a big part. But yeah, scuba diving sounds awesome. Did you scuba dive out there? Or?
Scuba dive, yes, but also here it's real diving schools like they that's also a very popular activity here.
Okay.
Scuba diving, I always do it because it's so beautiful. You have uh, not coral reefs, but like rocks with
Yeah.
lots of colors and fish. The seas are blue. It's so amazing. I really love it. I love the
Yeah.
sea. I love the sea. I love sea activities. I love going to the sea. You can go from May to November, May to October. You can go to the sea. Temperatures are great, and you have a variety of beaches, sandy beaches, rocky beaches,
Yeah.
whatever you can. Yeah.
So that's pretty much we covered the cost. How about healthcare? What do people do for healthcare over there?
So when you work in Malta, you pay social security. Social security is pension funds and healthcare. So if you work in Malta, you have free healthcare, public healthcare, but it's really good. You have a huge hospital. Since it's a small island, all the specialties are there. Um, so it depends on how urgent it is. You can get quite fairly uh, quick appointments with specialists, and otherwise there are pharmacy doctors where you can go for 10 or 15 euros for spontaneous consultations without appointments. You have 1 hour waiting time, that's it, and then you get a prescription for whatever you have called, or so really don't need a private insurance. But if you want to go to a private clinic, if you want to have you know a private room for hospitalization, you can have private healthcare. There are good hospitals here. I have friends um, having surgery, and they've spent a night at one of the private hospitals here, and it's really great. You have a private room and everything, and it's not so expensive. You can have quotes from 750 euros per year uh, upwards. It depends on what you're looking for, but the vast majority of the people, they get free healthcare with social security as a normal European country.
Yeah, yeah. For the people that aren't working, like expats, what do they do? Like people that they go and retire.
Yeah, so there are specific healthcare plans for
Okay.
for retired people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And it's pretty affordable, basically, what I'm hearing.
It is. It depends. For people that are retiring, it's a bit more expensive, but still, I would say it's on the cheap side of global healthcare.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm seeing covering the cost of like a rent, you got utilities, groceries, and what would you say like public transportation would cost per month? It's basically, do they have to pay that euro fee? There's a euro fee that you got to pay?
No,
No,
you
not.
pay no as you use it. So if you have a card, it's 75 cents per trip. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
not that expensive.
So say I mean 50 a month would be high.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 50 a
That
month
would be
is pretty
high.
good. Yeah, yeah.
And that's moving to be free soon.
It is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
So then you have the, leisure activities. Of course, there you can spend as much as you want. In leisure, there's a wide range of things to do. So restaurants, I mean, you have great restaurants here, Michelin star restaurants if you want, or local fisherman restaurants, whatever you like. So the budget really depends on you and what you want to do and your lifestyle.
yeah.
But I would say for students from 200 250 upwards, for a month of nice activities, weekend activities, and
Okay.
some restaurants. Yeah.
So
Cultural activities.
okay. So, I mean, if you did rent a room and you're looking at you're looking at about, if people could have a pretty nice life in Malta currently right now, based on the numbers, for about $1,600 a month, and I'm talking U.S. currency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
And now, if you're a student, you'd save significantly if you just rented a room.
Yep. So 750 or so.
Yeah. Wow. So it's
750 or so.
and you're living in one of the most beautiful destinations one of the most hidden,
Yeah.
beautiful destinations, because I'm telling you, there's still a lot of people in the States that don't know about Malta. It's just not ever been one of those places on the radar, but that's what makes places like that so special to me. And like you said, it's got this incredible international community that's attracting people all over the globe now, because
It does.
of all of the amenities offered to start businesses and programs. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I really like the place. I'm an advocate. I'm a Malta advocate, of course. I don't like comparisons, because everywhere you have particularities, But I believe that some places are for some people at the right time of their lives. I would say that for me, this is the right place where I have to be at this particular time of my life. And I have a pretty international group of friends, with even Maltese friends as well. And they all love it here. Of course, some people, they come by and stay for 1-2 years and then they go, which is normal when you're an expat. You have a lot of movement and
Sure.
turnover. But yeah, I would say that it's a very, very, very nice location to look at and discover.
Yeah,
It's hidden.
when places are transient like that, what do you attribute that to? When people come and then after a year or two they go, what do you attribute that to?
Maybe because there are some growth opportunities, and that you get to meet a lot of people, and so you enhance your international network, and you get new opportunities abroad. So it's part of a circle.
Yeah. That people get a taste of that, and they want to go experience something different, and then something new, and then they want to go to the next place, because I think you just get bit by the bug of travel and experiencing all of this beauty that you never knew existed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. It's just like, oh, I don't want to shortchange myself. I want to go see some other places, and maybe I'll head back to Malta one day. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's interesting. So Joaquin, that's all my questions. Is there anything else you want to share about Malta that we didn't cover? Is there anything?
Yeah, no. I think that we've covered it pretty much all. Just that it's a great destination to come all year round, because it's November, mid-November. It's 19 degrees Celsius. You don't get this anywhere in Europe, for sure. Not even in Spain, not even in southern Italy, So it's really great. Weather is fantastic, and all year round you can find different activities. So, and I like it even better not in the summer, fall or spring. They're great moments to come visit. Few tourists and a lot of local life. So yeah, that's it. But it's really a great destination.
Well, thank you. This is Joaquin Pinto Ferrand. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to be on the podcast and share your journey and all that is this information about living in Malta. Thank you so much for doing that. And also, I'm wishing you all the success. I'm glad to see that your Boom Malta is taken off. It's a fantastic program that you started. And I wish you all the success with that, man. So thank you, sir, for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ray, for the invitation.
You are certainly impressive. And man, I'll tell you, I'd love to eventually venture off. I actually might take a trip to Sicily in
Yeah,
the winter with a buddy of mine. And that could be enticing to take a little boat down to Malta
of course.
and check
Just
that
let
out.
me know.
We'll see. Yeah, I'll definitely do that if we end up heading over there. But
Just let me know.
yep. Thanks again, buddy, and have a great rest
Thank
of
you.
the evening, and talk soon, man.
See you around.
Okay, bye.